Tam Vande Guru Paramparam. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you.
So, Andrew, are you ready to start reading? Okay.
Excuse me. Page 243. In such context, Kathopanishad uses the word Shreya in the meaning of Jnanam and Moksha also. Therefore Arjuna had asked, "Tell me whatever is good for me, which will include anything up to Jnanam." Therefore it became Krishna's responsibility to find out what is good for Arjuna. And Krishna came to the conclusion that Arjuna now requires an introduction to Atma Jnana. Therefore, it is not the violation of tradition. Krishna has done what he has to do. Therefore, in the 11th verse, Krishna introduces Brahma Vidya only and not Dharma Sastram, and that is very clear in this verse. In the first line, Krishna defines Arjuna's samsara, asocyan and vasocyan. Arjuna, you grieve over people who do not deserve grief. From that, Arjuna's problem of soka is indicated. Then Krishna says, Prajnavadan vasase, you are speaking the words of the wise. See how he is teasing him. You are speaking the words of the wise. That means you are only quoting the words of the wise, and you are not wise. If Arjuna is wise, then he has to only say, you are speaking. But by saying, you are speaking the words of the wise, it indicates that Arjuna has got delusion. So Arjuna, you are a samsari, who has surrendered to the Guru. This is the qualification of the student. The first qualification is that he must be a samsari. The first qualification for medicine is one should be sick. Therefore, you are a samsari, and you have surrendered to the Guru. That indicates the adhikari also. This is the essence of verse 11. More?
Yes, let's do a pause here. So Krishna, as we said in the previous Satsanga, is introducing his teaching to Arjuna from the second chapter and sloka 11. So the actual teaching of Krishna starts from the second chapter, 11th sloka. And as we see, Krishna will give to Arjuna teaching which is connected with Jnanam Sastram, not with Dharma Sastram. Why? Because Arjuna is already competent in Dharma Sastram. He don't actually need a teaching from his guru, Krishna, about Dharma Sastram. So by being a samsari, by expressing his grief, his sadness, his depression, he is presenting himself as a samsari. And by being a samsari, that qualifies him as well as an adhikari. What means adhikari in Sanskrit? In Sanskritam, it means a real student for jnana, for self-knowledge, or Brahma Vidya. So he's responding to Arjuna according to his real need. First of all, we see that Arjuna, he's in confusion, and after he's asking Krishna to be his guru and to receive from him guidance on how to act in this very crucial moment. Any questions for now, or something to comment, or we can proceed in the reading? Okay, Andrew, you can continue.
So Krishna is referring to certain people here who do not require to be grieved over. Who are the people Krishna is referring to? Bhishma, Dronadaya, Bhishma, Drona, and others. Because in this context, Arjuna is grieving over Bhishma, Drona, and others. So first, Krishna says that they do not deserve grief on your part. And Krishna doesn't say why they do not deserve grief, because Arjuna will ask, they are going to die soon in the battlefield. And since they are going to die, certainly I will have worry about the dying people. And therefore Shankaracharya gives the explanation, the answer. Krishna will elaborate later. Shankaracharya divides them into 3 levels. When you are worrying over Bhishma, which Bhishma are you worrying about? Because from the worldly angle, Bhishma means the body. And from the Karmakanda angle, Bhishma is not the Sariram, but Bhishma is the Ahankara, the Chidabhasa, the Kata, the Bhokta, which is going to travel after death. The traveling soul, the Ahankara, is the second meaning of the word Bhishma. All the Astika people who are doing Shraddha Tarpana and other rituals are worried about the traveling soul. This is the second meaning in the Karmakanda of the Veda. So Bhishma, the Sariram, Bhishma, the Ahankara, and Bhishma, the Atma, or Bhishma, the body, Bhishma, the Chidabhasa, and Bhishma, the cheat. Are you worrying about Sariram or Chidabhasan or cheat? And the answer is all 3 don't deserve your grief. In fact, Bhishma doesn't grieve. You who are worrying about Bhishma, you deserve grief. What is the reason? You cannot worry over the death of Bhishma's body, because later Krishna will say, body is subject to birth and death. It is a fact. You cannot worry. Second possibility is you might be worrying about Bhishma, the Ahankara, the Chidabhasa, which will survive, but it will travel. So are you worried about the traveling Bhishma? Shankaracharya says, you cannot, because sad vritatvat. Sad vrita means they are noble people of good karma. You need not worry, because Bhishma will only go to the higher lokas. In fact, he is going to a better place. Why are you worrying? In fact, you should be happy. If he is going to lower lokas, then you have to worry. Certainly not. Why? Sad vritatvat. Therefore, the second problem is solved. Then the third one is, are you worried over Bhishma the cheat, Atma? Shankaracharya says, Bhishma, the Atma, will not die also, and will not travel also. Why will it not travel? Nitya Sarvagata Sasthanam. Bhishma, the Atma, is everywhere and eternal. Therefore, where is the question of going to Naraka or Svarga? Therefore, you need not worry about their death. You need not worry about their going to Naraka. Therefore, your grief is unwarranted, meaningless.
Okay, let's do a pause here. So Krishna explains to Arjuna that his grief, his sadness, is not justified, because if he will grieve, if the grief is about the body, there is no meaning, because the body have a beginning and an end. If he have a grief about any sariram, about the body-mind complex, this is not justified, because Bhisma is not the body-mind complex. And the body-mind complex also will have a better reincarnation, and will go to a higher loka, a higher place of living, of a dream lifetime. So there is no need of any grief. And if we speak about Chitabhasa, what is Chitabhasa? It is the reflection of consciousness in Bhisma. So that reflection of consciousness, the internal consciousness, Nitya consciousness, cannot travel anywhere, because it is beyond space and time. So Atma is beyond space and time. Our true nature, our true Svarupam, is beyond any space and time. So there is no any justification for the grief of Arjuna. And we should remember that Krishna, by this way, he will end up teaching in the entire Bhagavad Gita Jnana Sastram. He will not teach Dharma Sastram. Why? Because Krishna is already very well a knowable person in Dharma Sastra. So what he needs, according to his grief, is Jnanam Sastram. It is a teaching which is leading to self-realization moksha. This is what he needs. And Krishna will follow this need, and he will give this teaching. Yes, Andrew, you can continue.
The entire first chapter is grieving chapter, a chapter which deals with grieving. That is why the first chapter is called Arjuna Visada Yoga. So Anoso Chitavan Asi. How did you entertain the grief? That grief is given in quotation. That thought pattern of Arjuna is given in quotation. Te mat nimitam mriyante. They're going to die, and if they die a natural death, my worry will be relatively lesser, because death will give me grief. If it is a natural death, it will be relatively lesser. But if in the battlefield when they die, there is twofold grief. One is their death, and the second is I am going to be the cause of their death. Therefore, I will have tremendous guilt feeling also. Therefore, mat nimatam. Because of me, they will die. So I will be affected by intense guilt is problem one. And the second is tai vina bhuta. In the absence of those people towards whom I have intense attachment. In fact, the attachment has become so intense that I and they have become one. That's tai vina bhuta. Vina bhuta means without them. Kim karishyami, what shall I do? The very life will become empty. And not only will my life be empty, Rajya Sukadina, even if I get power, position and pleasure, that will never replace Bhisma and Drona. Therefore, I will have intense emptiness also. Guilt is problem 1. Emptiness of life is problem 2. Thinking in this way, he, Arjuna, you are grieving. In fact, in this line, Shankaracharya is paraphrasing the entire first chapter. All these details you should remember. Therefore, Krishna says, Arjuna, you are grieving in this manner over people who do not deserve grief. It must be connected to anoso chitavan. In this manner, you have grieved. This is your present, pathetic condition. According to Vedanta, wise people will not grieve, and you are grieving. Therefore, by arthapati pramana, you are not wise. But I am confused, because even though you are not wise because of grieving, all your words are great words of Shastra. So the words are as though you are wise. Therefore your tears in the eyes revealed your foolishness. The words reveal wisdom. So I am confused whether I should go by your tears or whether I should go by your words, because contradictory attributes cannot be in one locus. Contradictory attributes of grief and wisdom cannot be in one locus. Therefore, Arjuna, I am confused about you.
Yes, we can do a little bit pause here. So we see that although Arjuna knows the Shastram, his behavior is not of a jnani. His behavior is of an ajnani, someone who don't really know the self-knowledge, Brahma Vidya. And we can see that through his grieving. So Krishna is teasing him. He is saying to him, as you can see, you speak very wise words, but in your face, I see that your words and your face are not in alliance. They cannot be together. You are acting not as a jnani, not as a self-knowledge person. And that's why he will later on, he will offer the teaching in the entire Gita of Jnanam. And also, we see that Krishna, he is asking by his way, by his behavior, a teaching about Brahma Vidya, Jnanam, and not Dharma, Shastram, not about Dharma. But through giving the knowledge of Jnanam, Krishna will also mention the Dharma Shastram. Any questions till now, or something that you would like to comment or to add? Yes?
Yeah. What exactly do they mean by grief? They're talking about grief is a selfish emotion. It's not compassion. There's a difference between grief and compassion.
Yes, we can see that it is about how he will feel as a person, as a body-mind complex after killing Bhishma, Drona, and others. So it is about how he will feel as a body-mind complex after. He's not really in compassion about his gurus and his relatives. So you are correct. This makes him even more an ajnani. And we see that his behavior is according to attachment. And what is the cause of suffering? What is the cause of samsara in general? Attachment, desire and attachment. So his attachment to his gurus and to his relatives is the reason of his grieving. So it is not a noble feeling. It is not compassion, as you mentioned. But gradually, Krishna will will direct him, and he will end up in the 18th chapter, understanding the truth. So we will have a good end according to the real teaching about jnana, and gradually he will understand. After 18 chapters, he will understand that he must fight, and he will fight. But until then, he will express all his doubts. He will do Sravanam. He will ask teachings and study with Krishna. Then he will do Mananam with Krishna. He will express all his doubts, and he will solve all his doubts together with Krishna. And in the end, he will end up in a kind of Nididhyasanam, Vedantic meditation. And he will understand that he must fight as a Kshatriya, because this is his real Dharma in this dream lifetime. Would you like to elaborate more, or it is clear?
But also, how does he? How can he have confidence that when Krishna says that they will go to the higher lokas? How can he have confidence in this? Because I mean, I don't know about this other family and these other gurus, but if they're against the Dharma, why would they go to a higher loka? Because surely that's going to take them to a lower realm, because if they're anti-Dharma. And what kind of people are they? What kind of Dharma are they practicing? Because in the Gita it says they're moral people, and you know they're going to take a higher rebirth. They're going to go to higher lokas. How can they be moral people if they're going to fight and try and destroy the Dharma? It seems like a contradiction.
Yes, he will. He is very confident because the entire life of these gurus was noble. Only in the end they were somehow in confusion. So we cannot say that because in the end of their lives they did this mistake, that they should end up in lower regions or lower lokas. Because for their entire lives, they were gurus, they were practicing Dharma, and they were trying their best. But the point is not anyway whether they will go in higher lokas or lower lokas. The point here is that Bhisma and Drona and the others are not the body-mind complex. So the point here that Krishna wants to end up pointing out is that it doesn't matter. Nevertheless, they are not the body-mind complex. They are Atma. They are Brahman. They should play this role because of their prarabdha karma, but their true nature, their true svarupa is that of Satchitananda, that of Brahman, that of Atma. Something more?
Maybe this is a bit of a stupid question, not a naive question maybe, but so therefore, because every living being is in their real nature as Brahman, how do we then, why be moral towards anybody in any case? Because it's just Brahman, they're all Brahman ultimately. Their body-mind complex is immaterial. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yes, he's using this expression, Krishna, in order to end up in what we call Paramarthika teachings. He starts from Vyavaharika teachings. He's recognizing that there is this dream lifetime where you will suffer according to your wrong deeds, but gradually he will end up teaching Paramarthika teachings, which is the teachings for the beyond, the transcendental wisdom. But of course, it does not justify to do any unmoral life, because in reality, this world does not exist really, and it is of the nature of a dream. of a magical soul, because whether it is a dream or not, you will suffer the consequences of each and every of your actions. Just like, as I said earlier many times, if you are in the dream in the night and you will hit somebody, you may end up also this person to hit you and to experience pain, even if it is just the dream in your night sleep. So it doesn't matter. That's why all the sages and all the rishis, they have given the teaching that following Dharma and living a moral lifestyle, a spiritual lifestyle, according to the Dharmic rules. So it doesn't matter. You will face the consequences. You cannot do whatever you like. Anything more? So you can continue reading. No, Malati wants to.
Yes. So what you answered now, I questioned this some 2 months back only. Why should we follow the morality? Why should we follow this Satya, Dharma, and then also you answered the same. So we have to face the consequences of our karmas, whether it is our apparent life. This, although we are not considering this as a body or mind, still we are living with this body and mind in our dream life like that. So we have to face the consequences. So you said that at that time also. So I remembered that. Thank you.
Yes, it was. We were discussing this in a previous satsanga.
Yes.
And it is very, 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 very important, because a lot of people, they say, okay, I can do whatever I like, since this life is just like a dream. I can do whatever I like. I can kill, I can steal, I can hurt other beings. If they are dreamlike beings, why not to hurt them, since they don't exist really? Yes, but you will face the consequences. Because whatever you do it to yourself, since there is only one self, one consciousness. Whatever you will do, you do it to yourself, and you will suffer a lot. And whatever you don't do, also you don't do to yourself. If you don't offer love to all the living beings, even if they are dream beings, then you don't offer love to whom? To your own self. So if you want to experience love, you have to offer love. Because while you are offering love to the apparent others, since there are no others and there is only you, you are offering love to whom? To yourself. So the absence of love means absence to your own self, absence of offering love to your own self. And that will end up to suffering. You see, the teachings are very, very clear. There is dharma, there is rules that you should follow. Even if this Jagan is mithya, it's not real. So, Andrew, you can continue.
Can I say something else?
Sure.
So, Krishna is suggesting that Arjuna kills, which is, it's the most heavy negative action you can possibly do under normal circumstances. So why is it not? I understand that the opposing army want to destroy the Dharma. Is that such an incredibly negative thing to do that killing is justified? Because normally killing, all the gurus and sages would say never do this, because it's such heavy negative karma. So I presume in this circumstance it's okay, because of the even heavier consequences that the opposing side are going to experience if they destroy the Dharma.
Exactly. It is like the saying we have here in ancient Greece, from two very bad things, you can choose the less bad thing. So, because if he will not fight as a Kshatriya, as a warrior, the society will be on chaos. And he, by doing his duty, he will prevent the society falling down in chaos. Because he must protect the Dharma. He must protect his own family and the society. And we have this phenomenon also in other scriptures, not only in Bhagavad Gita. We can see the same also in Ramayana, another itihasa, another epic of the Sanatana Dharma, where Rama himself, he's killing a lot. He's an avatar, but still he's killing. And he's killing, of course, demons and negative ones who are destroying Dharma. So killing, when it is for a higher good, it is acceptable, and in particular when you are a Kshatriya, a warrior. That's why, for example, if you are a Kshatriya in your country, a warrior, and it is your duty to protect your family and your country from the enemy who wish to intrude in your country. It is a legitimate activity. Although, if you have another prarabdha karma to be a Brahmin, you will not be justified to play that role. That's why we have in the wise Sanatana Dharma the idea of what is your Dharma in this in every particular dream lifetime. So whatever it is your prarabdha karma, anyway you cannot avoid. So Arjuna anyway could not avoid his prarabdha karma. Even a jnani, a self-realized one, cannot avoid to experience his prarabdha karma. The punyam, the good karma that he have accumulated, he will experience in the form of sukham, happiness, and the papam that he have accumulated through bad activity, he will also experience. Although the jnani will always be beyond this experience, and he will always know, and he will also abide in the knowing that the papam and the punyam are only for the body-mind complex, not for his true nature, his true self, which is, of course, Brahman, infinite, impersonal consciousness awareness. So we will see all the time in the scriptures this mixing of Vyavaharika teachings and also Paramarthika teachings, teachings which are about how to live a harmonious and a happy life in this dream world, but at the same time we will see the Paramarthika, absolute wisdom, transcendental wisdom, where it will remind us that what we really are is infinite consciousness awareness, Brahman. So according to the capacity of each and every apparent individual or jivatma, he or she will take the teaching which is according to its level of understanding. But sooner or later, each and every jiva will end up in finding the Paramarthika teachings and become either a Jivan Mukti, a self-liberated one while living, or a Videha Mukti, becoming a liberated one upon leaving the physical body. upon apparent death. Something else?
This is Nagaji speaking.
Sure.
What I actually feel is Dvaitam and Advaitam, this philosophy are like, two faces of the same coin. So when we live in the Dvaita world, okay, so we are bound to live as per the Sanatana Dharma teachings to follow Dharma. And yes, if you happen to play a role of a soldier protecting your mother country, obviously you will have to take the sword or you will have to take the weapons to kill the enemy. But then if at all the lifestyle that is being chosen for you is different from a soldier, then perhaps there's some other role that one has to play. So it is bound by two factors. One is your prarabdha karma and the sanchita karma. Yes, we have been born with this body and with this mind. So with this body and this mind, whatever we do as per Sanatana Dharma and the dharmic way of living will accumulate your karma account. So probably the next dream world that we perhaps possess will be completely different from what we have this world. So I always feel that these are two faces of the same coin. When you go to the Advaitam, yes, you'll have to contemplate and believe that you are the soul, which is the Brahman, and it is all pervading and pure. So that way we'll have to actually take this philosophy and move forward. And one thing about Bhagavad Gita is that he starts at a very lower level of understanding of what life is, and gradually he will step into what is karma yoga, and then he moves into bhakti yoga, and then raja yoga, and then finally he culminates with the Advaita. So perhaps we will have to wait until Krishna's teachings mature enough to move on from karma to bhakti and then to non-duality. So this is my understanding. Thank you.
Yeah, very, very well said. It was just like a summary of Bhagavad Gita that you have presented. Very nice. And of course, I agree with what you said. Plus, I can add that Bhagavad Gita is a summary, as I said also earlier, of the Vedanta. And that's why we can see all levels of understanding, from the amateur spiritual seeker, mumuksu, until the pinnacle of a mumuksu who is completely ready for moksha. So this teaching is for all levels of capacity of each and every individual or jivatma. And it is very nice. That's why Bhagavad Gita is that kind of a masterpiece, that it is about each and every one, not only for the higher level, not only for the middle level, not only for the beginners level, but all levels can receive accordingly a beautiful teaching by studying this wonderful masterpiece called Bhagavad Gita. Something else? Or Andrew can continue a little bit more, and then we can do our guided meditation.
So, from that, what is my conclusion? Because of your grief, you are revealing your mudatva. Because wise people do not grieve, and you are grieving. Therefore, foolishness or ignorance is in one place. You are showing wisdom also. Both ignorance and wisdom cannot be in one person, but you are showing both at the same time in the first chapter. And opposite attributes cannot coexist. But if it is coexisting, it is because you are unmata. Unmata means drunk, mad. Only mad people show opposite attributes. They will laugh aloud, and the next moment they will sit and cry also. Normal people will not show opposite attributes. Like a madman, you are revealing this. Krishna doesn't say you are mad because Arjuna is his disciple. And if the disciple is mad and the Guru has accepted, so therefore he doesn't say, but indirectly he is indicating through the first line. In this line, Krishna gives the reason for what he said in the first line. I've moved on to the next line. He said, you are grieving over people who do not deserve grief. On what basis he says that? He gives the reason here. According to the wise people, not only Bhisma, Drona, but nobody deserves grief in life. Therefore, Bhisma, Drona do not deserve grief, and you have grief, either over the dead ones or the living ones. Pandita na anusokjanti. Wise people do not grieve over the dead ones or the living ones. That means all people fall under only these two categories. Either you should be alive or you should be dead. Either way, you don't deserve grief. Don't go and tell your family members. This is the truth. But there are many truths. Satchitananda has been said, but it does not mean you should go and tell. Don't tell untruth, but all truths need not be told. Satyamvada does not mean tell all the truths. Satyamvada means don't tell untruth. At the same time, don't tell all the truths. These are the truths you should not tell your family members, but we should understand that inside, Pandita na anusochanti. Any more?
Okay, let's end tonight with this, and we will do also a small guided meditation, and we will continue in our next Satsanga. Please be free to write down all your questions or doubts, and we can solve them in our next Satsanga. Also, I just remind you that this Satsanga is not about learning Sanskritam or Sanskrit terminology, but to derive teachings for self-realization. So for those who are interested for learning the Sanskrit terminology or Sanskritam, there are other courses available that you can go and learn. I respect very much Sanskrita, and I believe it is the highest and the most profound language. Actually, it is a Deva language, the language of the Devas. But this body-mind complex is not trained in the Sanskritam, so it's not able to provide teaching on Sanskritam. So that's why we use the text of my Guru, Swami Paramarthananda ji, in order for you to receive the appropriate explanations on the Sanskrit terminology. Here, what this body-mind complex wishes to do is to help further after the wonderful Bhashyam of Adi Shankaracharya and the commentaries of my beloved Guruji. What I wish to provide is further help, and that is all. So feel free to write down all your questions, and if you are really interested to learn Sanskritam, you can do so by your own. We have already asked somebody from Sringeri to support us in our learning of Sanskritam. And Sringeri Math promised that they will help us by providing to us the right person to teach the interested ones in our ashram, in our upcoming asrama, Vedic rituals, Sanskritam, and also the four Vedas, and in particular the Rig Veda, which is which is more in connection with the Sringeri Math. So when we are ready for these classes, we will all let you know, and you will be able to participate. Of course, everything will be always free of charge in our efforts, and you will be first to know that we have started these classes with the help of Sringeri Math. So we have the promise of the administration office and also the CEO and president, Dr. Gauri-Shankar, that he will support us on that subject, on this subject. So let's close with a little bit guided meditation. Close your eyes. Take a very, very comfortable posture in order not to be disturbed by any discomfort in the physical body. Anamaya Kosa. Try to keep your spine and the torso vertical, but without tension. If you are familiar with the yogic mudra, such as Chin mudra or Gyan mudra, or whichever you are familiar with, you can apply. Keep your eyes closed, just like you wanna go to sleep, without any tension in your eyelids. Tonight we can try focusing our eyes in the third eye chakra, Ajna chakra. So focus in between your eyebrows. This will help you first to open that particular chakra, and at the same time it gives you the ability to be less focused on the rest of the body. Keep breathing with a slow and comfortable way, but try not to alter your breathing. Just breathe through your nostrils, inhaling and exhaling through your nostrils. Keep your mouth in a relaxed way closed. If thoughts do appear, let them disappear without being attaching yourself on them. Just do not give them any importance. Do not try to stop anything. Just let them flow and disappear or self-liberate themselves. Become aware mostly of become aware mostly of the space in between thoughts, to develop a kind of curiosity, an inner curiosity to see in inverted commas, of course, what is there between one thought and another. This gradually, if you do it often, it will give you enough space to recognize that you are not the thoughts, you are not the Manamaya Kosa, the mind body, but you are the witnessing consciousness, Saksi Chaitanyam. So usually the flow of thoughts is so fast that it is not easy at all to see that Saksi Chaitanya witnessing consciousness. So one of the purposes of Vedantic meditation, Nididhyasana, is to assimilate the Sravanam and Mananam that you did before. So the Guru Parampara, the holy tradition, offered to you that what you really are, your Svarupa, your true nature, your true self, is consciousness, awareness, Brahman. So that should not be an information, but should be your own truth. It is like you are saying to yourself, Guruji told me today, passing the messages from the entire Guru Parampara, that I am not the body-mind complex, that I am Brahman, that I am consciousness awareness. So I should find out that for myself. I should not have that as just an information. Something, in inverted commas, is here, listening, it knows that it exists, it is aware of this teaching, it is aware of the body-mind complex, it is aware of the instructions for the guided meditation. It is aware of everything that appears and disappears. And at the same time, it is the substratum of all this. I must see this substratum of infinite consciousness awareness that is my true nature, my true Svarupa. Sooner or later, as a mumukshu, as a true spiritual seeker for moksha, I should find out if this Sravanam and Mananam can be my own truth. So with honesty, I want to see the truth. What is aware here and now? Is it the body-mind complex that is aware of everything? Is it the mind that is aware? Is it this fleshy thing in the skull called brain or the nervous system? I must find out what is aware of each and every of my experiences. I'm certainly this awareness, this consciousness. I know that I'm here and now. I know each and every of my experiences. But can I localize this Satchitananda, this witnessing consciousness? Can be localized in what I call the skull of the Annamaya Kosa, the physical body? What is here now listening and that which is aware of everything, is it localized in the room that the physical body or the body-mind complex is located? I want to find out. Where am I, me, the consciousness awareness? Do I really have a location? Do I really have a name? Am I the property of the body or the body-mind complex? Or everything is just appearing and disappearing in me, the substratum? And very, very slowly, keep your eyes closed and just start to move the body, but slowly and consciously. becoming aware of these slow movements of the physical body, and try to see that what is aware of these movements of the physical body, what is aware of everything, cannot by any means being imprisoned, cannot be imprisoned in the skull or in the body or in the room. And very, very, very slowly, open your eyes, look in front of you without movement, and just being aware for the next 1-2 minutes. Just open your eyes, look in front of you without movement. Ask yourself, can I localize that which is looking through the eyes? Is it really behind the nose or behind the eyes in the skull? Can it be imprisoned there or anywhere? Just look and try to find out. Okay, enough for tonight. Malati maybe can offer to us the chanting for tonight to close.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम Thank you.